Next question on the list from Hillel. I know you're a big gadget fan like myself. Talk to me about the tablet space and the iPad 2. Does it have any competition, and will that change in the near future? Well, if you out there had been watching my favorites on YouTube, you'll know that I happen to favorite a couple videos that were recorded of me when I was at CeBIT, having the opportunity to keynote just a few short weeks ago. A few people came up and said, "Hey, Chris, this is before the iPad 2 had launched. Hey, what do you think about the iPad 2? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?" My thoughts haven't changed all that much now that I have an iPad 2, and I love the iPad 2, don't get me wrong. In fact, I've actually got, hang on, I'll show you. I've got 2 iPad 2s in my possession. I have one still in the cellophane wrapper here. No, not going to save it for posterity. I'm actually looking to see if I can find a web designer to help us retheme lockergnome.com, chris.perillo.com, and a variety of our other web properties. Especially if they know anything about WordPress, because that's pretty much what we use these days. And so I'm thinking about giving this iPad to the first designer who can create something that is workable. It's not really a giveaway or a contest, so to speak, but suffice to say, I have a extra unopened iPad 2 3G black 64 gig version just waiting to be somebody's. A nice gift for a designer, so to speak. So the tablet space is absolutely heating up. In fact, some people have gotten really upset at me when I said that this is a computer. Some people got mad at me when I said that this is a computer. This iPhone here, computer. This iPad here, computer. And if you don't think that's true, look up the definition of computer. Certainly I can tell you this. This particular device, this iPad 2, is a hell of a lot more powerful than my first computer. And in seeing how my nephew, who's just a toddler, interacted with a storybook on the iPad 2. It's 3 Little Pigs. See if I can find it. I've got a folder in here of my. How many apps did I say I had? I said it a couple minutes ago on the live feed. I've got there's a really, really good 3 Little Pigs application. And what I love about it, it's like a virtual pop-up book. And what's nice about it, if I go ahead and let's turn the sound effects off, I can go through and read the story, and as I'm doing this, I can interact with these elements on the page. That is just, to me, amazing. And I'm not a kid, but this turns me into a kid. I gotta tell you that. In physics, so as I swing it that way, the butterflies swing that way. I don't know how well that'll translate on the video feed. I have the brightness turned all the way down. This is a computer. And if you don't believe that, you're deluding yourself. In fact, a couple of days ago, I don't know if anybody in the chat room caught this, but there was a marketing executive at Dell who was at a conference in Australia who had said that this is irrelevant. Basically saying, this could cost as much as $1,600 as soon as you add the cost of keyboard and a mouse and a... What? Did you say mouse? Apparently this Dell executive has never seen an iPad, let alone not done enough competitive intelligence to tell him that you don't need a mouse with this particular computer. And of course, other large entities have come out and said, tablet space is just a fad, it's going away, it's going away, it's going away. Nope. Oh, well, no, Microsoft, tablet PCs, they were out for years. You know what? Apple sold more iPads than all the tablet PCs from all the manufacturers combined. The tablet space is not going away. It's going to get better. And you know what? In terms of competition, it ain't coming from Android. And it certainly ain't coming from Microsoft. We have not yet seen iPad competition in the marketplace. And remember, it doesn't matter, just like I blogged about, it was like a couple weeks ago, it doesn't matter how many units are shipped to stores, how many of those units were purchased. Big difference. The iPad is extremely usable. That experience is what makes the iPad the iPad. It's not about the specs. That's what everybody's all, oh, it's about the specs. And specs. I need more specs. No. It's not about the specs. You can have great hardware. If it's running on lackluster software, what good is the hardware? Do I really need to spell this out for you? It's about the perfect marriage between hardware and software that creates the experience. Sleight of hand. It's the experience. And unfortunately, nobody's ready for that. Just recently, we've seen Google do what I knew they would do. They're taking control. They're saying, no, OEMs, no. You can't have honeycomb. Not yet. Because Google is controlling it. So the very same thing that Fandroids were all applauding Google about, they're doing just the opposite. They're doing exactly what Apple does. And that's fine. That's good for consumers. Consumers will still have a choice. Absolutely. 100%. The only competitor in that we're going to likely see this year in the tablet space is going to be anybody? I'm going to see if anybody gets this. I'm going to give it a couple seconds, let it brew in the chat room. I'm not exactly sure who's in here right now. It is late on a Friday night, so you never really know what you're going to get here. Either way, bingo, someone got it. Who is that? Derek caught it. WebOS. And the reason why I believe that WebOS will be the first true competitor, specifically in a conjunction with this being the first tablet computer, at least, I can't say that because HP has made other tablet computers, but the first true tablet computer, because no, I hate to tell you, a Windows 7 tablet doesn't count. A Windows tablet doesn't count. Because the operating system was not optimized for the hardware. Do I really need to explain this to you any further? Did you listen to anything that was going on with the discussion I had with Lamar the other day? It's about the experience. And HP will control the hardware, the software, the experience. And they'll have a better product for it. You will have a better choice. You can choose between an iPad 2, a touchpad, I guess is what they're going to be calling it right out of the gate, potentially an Android device, certainly. But I wouldn't say it's a true competitor, because again, Google isn't controlling the hardware and software, and unless you're doing those things, sorry. Try again. I'll go as far as to say it's the same thing with apps. It's not even the number of apps. You could have 50 bajillion apps. If 99.999% of those apps are free wallpaper apps, or they're crap, you could have 1 billion crappy apps. That's a great experience. Especially when nobody's in control. But the user's in control. The user's in control. Not for consumer electronics devices. I hate to tell you this, Google wouldn't be making the moves they were making if their original way was the right way to do it. And they're finally taking the reins with Honeycomb, and the latest version of Android 3.0. They're cutting people off. They're saying, no, we have to keep this closed right now. They're doing the right thing to create better choice for you. Quality assurance, folks. I could spend $200 on something. Well, it's a piece of crap. Well, it costs less. Cause really? So would you rather buy 3 pieces of crap or really 1 piece of good experience? Good experience is invaluable, folks. That's the thing that just boils my blood. I love hardware. Oh, I love hardware. You can't look around my home office without seeing that I love hardware. Love it. But you know what I found over time? Without good software, without a cohesive experience, it was worthless. Worthless. Specs don't mean boo. I don't care how many USB ports you got there. Oh, I got USB more. Complaining that a tablet computer doesn't have a USB port is like complaining that YouTube doesn't have a DVD drive. It's asinine. Take yourself out of your own box for a moment to recognize the bigger picture. If hardware manufacturers don't control the software experience to a very large degree, and I don't mean by slapping layers on top of it, because that's akin to sticking lipstick on a pig. If they don't control the experience, there's no way they're going to come close to touching the iPad. Not even close. HP's got a shot. They absolutely do. To a much smaller degree, RIM has a shot. They're hedging their bets, though, with what they're about to release onto the market. They're saying, yeah, you can code for our platform, but we'll also be Android compatible. That story is not going to have a good ending. Mark my words. But this one is, I don't care. Is the experience good? Well, it is good for me. It's good for you. What about the rest of the world? There's a reason that whenever you see an article written, it's this versus something Apple did. Mac versus Windows. Actually, that's Mac versus PC. Mac OS X versus Windows. iPod versus MP3 player. iPad versus tablet computer. Need I go on? Airport versus wireless router. The list goes on and on and on and on. It's not just marketing, folks. Hate to tell you this. This is a good computer. And if you don't recognize that, well, you're certainly not doing yourself any favors. You're making this life a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Accept it. Tablets are here. Touch is here. But we can't rely on yesterday's technology to power today's hardware. Today's experiences. People demand more. It's touchscreen, but you have to use this wonky stylus in order... It's touchscreen, but it weighs 10 pounds, so you just need a... It's touchscreen, but it's not extremely reactive to the touch, and you have to wait a couple of seconds and tap it again. Quality! That's all I'm looking for. Quality. Quality. As a consumer. Why? Because I have to spend my money. I want to spend my money. I don't want to waste my money. I want to spend it, but I'm afraid of spending it on something that's just a waste of money. Quality, experience, and competition is going to be healthy. Next year, I think, is going to be a really good year for competition. 2012. Unfortunately, by December, I think the world's going to end at some point. That's just scuttlebutt. Can't confirm or deny that. I'm going out in a blaze of glory, though, but buying every gadget I can possibly get my hands on. That's the smell of success! And peanut butter. I should have washed it before I did this video. That's my thoughts on the whole tablet ecosystem and competition. I'm sure I have a million more things to say. I've said them before on my blog, chris.perlow.com. I've tweeted them at Chris Perlow. I've been interactive on facebook.com/Chris Perlow and at Locker Room on Twitter and facebook.com/Locker Room. LockerRoom.com, LockerRoom.net, place for reviews, news, and how-tos. You can join us anytime you want. We're geeking out, too. People asking me questions all the time. in the chat room. Here, you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.perillo.com. We'll see you later.